Our next ring presenter will be Chris Walby, and he'll present our next Hall of Fame ring. And I don't know that the CFL has had a better friend over the last 3 decades than our next inductee. Please watch your video screens and find out all about the great contribution of Senator David Braley.
Hi, how are you? Hey, listen, I'll tell you something. It's an honor to be able to present this to you and welcome you to the club. Well deserved, my friend.
Thank you very
All
much.
all the best. Everybody loves you, brother.
Beautiful.
Oh, you got a picture? Okay, I love that one. Thank you.
I never prepare speeches. I just speak from the heart about how I feel and how the day went and about the relationships that occurred today. First of all, I have to thank the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame and their selection committee for honoring me. It's very, very humbling. Very humbling. I want to talk about 2 or 3 things. One is the love of the game. The next thing is why involved in ownership. And number 3, the relationship of the Canadian Football League to Canada. First, my neighbor, Mr. Richardson, took me to a football game when I was 8 years of age. His wife couldn't go one Sunday afternoon. Then I hoped every week and every game she couldn't go, because I kind of enjoyed the games. Watching Bernie Filoni throw to Hal Patterson, it was just so exciting to be watching Canadian football. And then to know that Hal Patterson was going to be at a car dealership one day, signing autographs. I got on my bicycle, I was in my teens, and bicycled for 2 hours and a quarter, and to spend 15 minutes talking to a great, great football player like Hal Patterson and getting his autograph is what life's all about. It's what life is about when our children watch the game and get involved with the players and the players in the field. And that's how you sell football, is you put the players and the people together. Went to high school, played football. When I was in junior, Russ Jackson was the quarterback for the my high school team, Westdale. When I was playing senior, Jimmy Young, Dirty 30, was playing junior. We had a great football school, and when we showed up every fall, there was only one thing: win the Ontario Championship, the Red Feather game in Toronto, or it was a failure. I mean, that was the name of the game, was to win the football championship for the province of Ontario each year. Why did I get involved in buying football teams? One, I never wanted to own a football team in the first place. I really had no interest, and I wasn't going to do it. I loved the game, and then when the Hamilton Tiger Cats were in a position of failure, the mayor came to me and asked, would I look after it? I said I'd look after it till we could find another owner, and that's the only reason I was involved with the Tiger Cats back in 1989 to 1991, and was able to sign Damon Allen as the quarterback going into the future. When the BC Lions were in trouble, they were in bankruptcy. Ottawa was in bankruptcy, and Montreal was in bankruptcy in 1996. Larry Smith, the commissioner at the time, spent almost every week with me discussing how we were going to get somebody to buy the BC Lions. A cabinet minister had come to me and said, David, without the BC Lions, that's 25% of the Canadian television audience. There's no CBC contract, there's no TV, and therefore the league was going to completely fold. So I ended up going to BC. Larry Smith, the commissioner, ended up going to Montreal. At that time, we had to close Ottawa down, but we survived, and the name of the game was survival. And I'm very, very proud of what has been accomplished in BC. To take it from a franchise from the first game when there was 8,000 people there, we called 11,000, to have an average of about 35,000 today, and one of the most successful franchises in the Canadian Football League. And I have to thank my president, Dennis Skolsky, and my general manager, Wally Bono, for the great job they've done over the last 10 years. Toronto, different matter. Southern Ontario was failing. I wanted to do something like I did in BC, and like we worked together in BC, and hire the very best people, and to copy what we've done, and to make Toronto Argonauts and Southern Ontario one of the strongest football markets in the country. I know it's going to take 5 to 7 years, but they'll eventually get it done, and the Canadian Football League will be stronger yet. And Chris Rudge, my president, is here tonight, and he'll get the job done over the next 2 or 3 years for us. Chris? Now, why do all these things? There's only one reason. The Grey Cup. The Grey Cup is Canada's national championship. You start every year. You start every year on the road to the Grey Cup with training camp, and the objective of every single player, every single coach, and each team is to win, and to win that championship. Canada's national championship. It isn't hockey. There's 30 U.S. teams. It isn't anything else. And it's a great, big party festival that ends in the last Sunday of November every year. And that's what it's all about. And it gives me a great deal of pleasure, and I feel good about the contributions that I've been able to make in my own simple way. So I'd like to thank the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame again for the honor of inducting me with the rest of these great gentlemen, the 258 people that have been inducted into the Canadian Hall of Fame over the years. Thank you very much.
Well said, Mr. Braley.